Well, hey everybody. I'm so excited to be here with everybody today. This is your Wednesday Team Prosperity Training, and today is March 25th, 2020. I'm really excited to be here with everybody. Thank you for your, I'm excited for the people that are taking the time to listen to the recording as well. I've put together just one or two points that I wanted to go over before I bring up Mike. I know he's got a great presentation for us. So let me go ahead and grab mine and pull it up. So March 25th, 2020, this is such an interesting time going on right now. I hope that your business is exploding like ours is, and we're definitely here to help. One of the best parts about being here with everybody is just the teamwork. I'm a strong believer in everybody having a different set of talents and different things that they do well. And that's why our tier system works so well. Just wanted to throw up a few quotes here, one from Mother Teresa. I can do things you cannot, you can do things I cannot. Together we can do great things. So that really, really explains our team. And like Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. It's absolutely true. And I don't know any company that takes better advantage of it than our company with our tier system and the inviter, manager, financial professional roles. So this is a great time to do what we're doing. If you weren't able to make Julie Stewart's last Friday training, it was a must-see. So email us. We can send that out per request if needed. Really, really great information. Some of the notes that I took from her training is, in these challenging times, clients want three things from their advisors right now. The first and probably most important thing is constant contact, ongoing, constant communication. People want to know that you're in their corner, that somebody's looking out for them. So I'm trying to follow up with at least 2 or 3 clients a day, just touch with them, let them know that I'm here for them. They also want an opinion and an idea. For more, again, review Julie's training. If you were there, watch it again. I know I'm going to watch it again. It was really good. She's always got some really great talking points. One that I wrote down, let's look at your account, do a policy review, make sure you have enough protection. This is also a great time to ask referrals. There's really never been a better time for like a review with your clients or an annual review. With the book coming out, there's lots of things to talk about. So the other thing that just came up and will keep coming up is I want to make sure that everyone has an extra way to get into their quoting software as well as writing business. So if you're ever locked out of WFG for any reason, you can always get into your transfer and into IGO through premier.transamerica.com. There's a few screenshots. You just go to premier.transamerica.com. You register. It's going to remember you next time. And then right on the bottom of that first page, there's going to be a My Transfer illustration as well as an IGO electronic app link. So just the second way to get into there. Always nice to have a backup, especially when things are time sensitive or if we're working with clients. There was a big earthquake where the headquarters was for Crump last week, so they were really misplaced. And with the corona thing going on, right now, if you call, you might get like a voicemail. When leaving a voicemail, make sure you include your code number, your callback number, and then specifics about what you're actually looking for, because they'll pull up your email by your code number and they'll email you those illustrations. You can also email them directly. TFN Life Illustrations at Crump.com is for your permanent life insurance part of Crump. We can run term Crump all day long ourselves, but they have so many different carriers on the permanent side. They want to make sure that they're getting the best suitable one. That's why they need to know more information about those. Of course, work with your financial professionals, work with your uplines, your SMDs. If you need help with any of this stuff, we're always here for you. and that's what I'll kind of leave you with, is that we're here to help. You just have to tell us what you need help with, because we can't possibly know, what you're struggling with unless you let us know. And we want to help you. We're here to help you. So anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and grab Mike. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. We are obviously in a time right now where our particular model on the partner as well as the client side has significant advantages. So I want to take you guys through some stuff today that will help you build your business. And remember, we are working as individuals, partnerships, teams, organizations, as a company towards that freedom, financial freedom, coupled with the time and lifestyle freedom that the model initially gives us, creates a lifestyle that, everyone wants. Smaller percentage of those people will be willing to work for it. So just remember what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you're trying to accomplish. Always, always review your goals, your dreams. This is a reaffirmation that things are going to be a certain way in the future. Alana referenced Julie's last training. That was last Friday. We've got the slides as well as the video recordings. We cannot post it on social media because she's securities licensed. So if you guys need that, let me know. I'll send it out, the slides, video, both. And the next time that she will be here, Friday, May 1st, once again at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. She's always got some great stuff. And the more you learn, the more you start to earn, the more you build your business. And I keep stressing this. Even if you might only be in a marketer or an inviter role, you need to understand and learn how to build interest in what we're doing on both the business as well as the product side, so you can hand that off, so we'll close the conversations for you. Remember, you open, we close, build around you, you make the money, you step into those roles as you go forward. Yesterday, you guys should have been reviewing your commission statement every Tuesday, every Friday. I don't care if you're expecting a lot of money, no money, good week, bad week, whatever it might be. Every Tuesday, every Friday, go through your statement, make sure you understand, ask questions if you don't, because as you go forward and start to take over an office and manage people, if you don't understand some of this back-end admin, including reading a commission statement, people are going to lose faith and confidence in your ability to lead them. So start early with everything that you need to do to manage an office, and that starts by just managing some things independently, and one of those is your commission statement. So make sure you guys understand how you get paid, why you get paid, how it's broken down, etc. Right now, discipline equals dollars. And if you're willing to go out there and if you're willing to open the conversations, there's a bunch of people out there right now that are confused on the market side with what's going on in the stock market. They're confused on their business side, whether they're a W-2 employee, whether they're a 1099 self-employed contractor, whatever it might be. If you're willing to go out there and invest the time every day, invest that into you and your business, then you will find right now the conversations are, picking up a lot of velocity. Part of what we have to do is be accountable. And a lot of people either go on one of two sides of accountability. Either it's an alien concept to them or they think they're too cool. I will tell you, if you start to understand what you do and what results or what lack of results that particular activity gets, it's a lot easy to alleviate problems, correct issues, to make sure they have a free flow from activity to the results. If you have no idea really what you're doing, then it's hard to correct those particular issues. So understand that once you know what works, what doesn't work, and how to scale and grow that, those are data-driven decisions. That will be something that will grow your business. Just getting emotional about stuff, not testing stuff, not knowing what's working or what's not working is just kind of throwing stuff against the wall. The 12-week year, we're into almost the middle of it right now. And for those of you that are participating, maybe for the first time, just power through. Get through the first 12-week year. You'll learn a lot. You'll be ready and more prepared for the second, third, fourth, fifth time, however many times you're going to do it. And if you've been in this for a while, right now, there's no holidays. We had to go through last time Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's in the 12-week year. This time it's a pretty open field in terms of what you can do. And like I said, I would really be adjusting things upward in terms of your activity and your expectations for what these next coming weeks can do for you. So when we look at the 12-week year, I always want to share, even though, some of you guys aren't in WHAM groups with us, I always want to share what comes out of that. Once again, we're not looking for short-term partners hiding from the coronavirus. We're looking for long-term partners who want to build distribution. We've got solutions on both sides, client and partner. Not time for people to be complacent. They need a plan of action. You're the voice of confidence. You're the voice of reason at this time. Some people are still in shock right now. We're all experiencing what we call, the kind of the shock scenario in the tier 1 contact. People will come out of that. They'll start to settle down, but the memories and some of the structural changes to this economy will both create as well as destroy during that time. We're in a prime position to help create. Persona is still very important. Don't violate your personas. Understand who you're looking for, where to find them, and the message that best resonates has them responding back. Herd mentality focuses on problems. Remember, that's what they do. We want to focus on solutions. If you base your marketing and conversations on solutions to perceive problems, that's what people are looking for. Many companies right now are scrambling to adapt to the current situation. We're way past idea, organization, structure. Those intro stages, we're actually, executing in the virtual environment as virtual financial. Also, things are going to happen. We teach on the client side to use strategies and concepts to create buffers and hedges for life events. Those are very, very important. Like we talk about, nobody cares about protections and guarantees during a strong 11-year bull market. They do now. No variable products. We've taken 0 incoming calls, having to walk people, off the ledge, so to speak. That's a prime position and a very advantageous position to be in right now, because not only do you not have to spend your time dealing with that, but you can come back and reinforce some of the concepts and the strategies that we have. Our clients did not lose money. Sometimes the best way to answer a question is to ask one from your side. The more you overpower a conversation with information that's just drilled down their throat, you're neglecting a key component of the conversation, which is participation from the other side. And then what happens in times like this? Well, the government steps in, as you guys see, a $2 trillion stimulus and bailout plan. What that does is obviously adds money to the national debt, which circles back and once again reinforces one of our main beliefs that taxes will be dramatically higher in the future, and why we teach people to avoid as much future tax liability as possible. And once again, we all can get better at follow-up. Follow-up is still one of the main areas that most of us can improve on. The less we follow up, the more growth and the more income we're actually leaving on the table. So there's little things that we can do individually that not only help us, but also cause a ripple effect in the organizational build-out, because as you do stuff, you can start demanding it from other people. Guys, just a few months ago, we were just closing out the year talking about expected trends from 2020. The times have really changed here, but I want to go back and talk about some of those things and kind of give you an update. Number one is we really felt that the digital marketing organization, the DMO business model with the platform that we have was the answer going forward into this decade for how business should be done in this industry. Well, it's got thrown into the spotlight lately, and those same people who years ago told us that our business model would fail, it would not work, you can't do business like this, some of the same people circle back around asking for help on how to operate in a virtual world. Also, our disruptive leadership and culture. Remember, a lot of times right now, people are trying to learn how to work from home. Some of those people will not be able to work from home. They just won't be able to do it. Some people will find psychological issues being depressed at home. They, in turn, won't be very high performers. We're way past that. We've got virtual teams. We've got virtual meetings. We've got leadership in place. So what we wanted to establish is established. We have a foundation. We're ready for some massive growth here. We also talked about the vision for the next decade. Nothing's changed other than the first time that we talked about this, trying to shore up year-end 2019, was the fact that, our business model was poised for this decade. Our relationships were in place. We were getting ready for a nice decade-long run. The only reason I bring this back up is because I think that we've shortened the time frame in terms of the growth that we expect. And then you throw on the fact that we made this allegiance with WealthWave 360, their marketing capabilities. You guys, we are set right now for at least a 10-year run. So understand where you are versus everybody else and how really to capitalize and pounce at this time. Be aggressive. You should be growing. If you're contracting at any time, that's a bad sign. But if you're contracting, especially during the next, I would say, 4 or 6 months, that's a really bad, problematic leading indicator. That shows that you need to kind of recalibrate, go back to the drawing board, and understand what needs to be done on a daily basis, because sometimes there's a lot to do in your business. And sometimes we organize and allocate different tasks. The ones that normally rise to the top is the ones that we want to do, that are fun to do, making the meme or posting this or answering this. What's not is the phone calls, the messages, the follow-up. So if you find yourself in a position where you're not growing, just look at your activity. And sometimes all you have to do is just inverse that activity and do the uncomfortable stuff. Every single day, the other stuff gets done, great. If it doesn't, not a big deal. Someone brand new, your main concentration is 3. You want to develop a pattern and a pipeline that gives you 3 direct qualified partners every month coming in your organization, as well as 3 clients that can come from a wide variety of different marketing. It can come from somebody who looked at the business opportunity, it wasn't for them, that was a pivot to a client. It could be a term upgrade client. It could be somebody that you marketed to for specific client services. It doesn't matter. 3 partners, 3 clients, that 3 by 3 on both sides of the fence, so to speak, will get you immediate income, get your organization growing, and start to move you towards the leverage and passive income opportunities here. Also, we talked about in November or so taking market share, how this next few years would look. Right now, with what's going on, you have the ability to slice out a larger percentage of the market share, a larger piece of the pie. So understand that when you're doing stuff day by day during this time, if you're tired at the end of the day, wear it like a badge of honor. Go out and do what you need to do. If you're not doing what you need to do at this particular period of time, then you're losing out on a big opportunity. If I sent you back in time and you could buy Amazon stock at a couple bucks a share, you're going to do everything you possibly can to get the money together to buy those shares of stock. Same thing here, guys. This is opportunity. It's not going to cost you money, so to speak. It's going to cost you sweat equity. The more you pour in right now, the more you can take out the backside immediately as well as down the road. You're trying to create national distribution, coast-to-coast distribution of financial services in a multi-trillion-dollar industry. That was my goal when I came in, still my goal today. It'll happen. And with that portfolio of digital agencies, building over the next months, building over the next years, any of us coming in right now over the next 48, 60-plus months can build an incredible cash flow asset that pays them income month after month after month without having to worry about where is that cash flow coming from in terms of, savings that we've earmarked that are earning nothing, or investments that are risky in terms of the stock market or other areas. This is something that will pay you for a long time, and really, once you get it going, just continue to grow and grow and grow. There's nothing to stop it once it becomes viral. Also, one of the trends that we talked about that we want to do as an organization is get more. Push more out, but get more in the middle. In terms of, if you've got a model where 10% of the people coming in your organization are all in, they're working hard, trying to make it happen. You've got another 10% that are all out, didn't do anything, didn't complete training, whatever it is. And then 80% at different levels of activity that you're trying to manage and judge who's going to try to make it, who's not, versus, getting those bookends, the all in and all out more, and getting, a less amount of people stuck in the middle. Obviously, if you can get 30%, that's always what I've shot for in this model. You can get 30% of your partners coming in direct to you that are all in, working, making things happen, making meetings, connected on things like the Facebook group. That kills the traditional industry. So whatever it starts out at, you want to monitor that, and you want to get better at your personas, who you bring in, your ability to manage them, and then if people are not working, why do they not work? Evaluate it, kind of tweak what you're doing if necessary, but ultimately you want to get more people all in, more people all out, and then squeeze that middle so there's less that are stuck there trying to figure out what to do. Your plans during this time are critical. They have to be certain. They have to be specific. Having something meaningful going on day to day, income-producing activities, growth-producing activities for your life and your business. What are you doing? When are you going to do it? Why are you going to do it? All of these things day after day after day right now. The 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever you're spending on your business, full or part-time, it has to be directed towards things that you think are going to put your business and put you in the best position to get the results that you're looking for. Remember, we are not new kids on the block, and this is the press releases from mid-April of 2014 that shows, hey, this is it. This is what we're doing. This was laughed at in 2014, 2015, 2016. It was ridiculous how many people didn't see where this industry needed to head. And there was all types of people saying you can't do this. You have to be face-to-face. What you're doing will 100% fail. And look what's happening now. The way they're doing business can't be done right now. And the way that we do business, the future of the industry is right now. So understand, this is a huge position of power for you. Like I said, when everybody is putting things together, organizing, testing structures, ideas, implementations, we're executing. And that's a big part of leading the way. We've got a system in place, and that system allows people, when we first came in, there was no system. It was a loose group of assets, and really all I had to offer was some positive motivation, whatever training, we could come up with, but it was a stale, stagnant process because people didn't know what to do. Once you have a system in place, it allows people a blueprint to know what to do in terms of daily activity, how to build their business, what they need to work on, how to progress, and how to get to the endpoints they're looking for. When there's no system in place, everybody just stands around, even in a virtual world, and kind of looks at each other. So understand the advantage of having a system, the advantage of having a structure, the advantage of having a business model that allows somebody to come in from day one, understanding what to do, as well as day X in the future, what it might look like for exit. Also, the assembly line. Remember, you've got an opportunity to bring people, a legitimate online business opportunity where they get a ton of help, whether it's the inviter, manager, or professional, whether that's one person, three people. We all work together for the mutual benefit of each other and our organizational growth. Somebody can come in and build a dynamic business and never, ever have to sell a policy. That's big. Traditional industry doesn't have that. We're going to have marketers or inviters, managers, and professionals working together across this country in the coming months and years in a way that's so fluid and so advantageous in terms of, the first mover advantage, putting it together, getting it on a digital scale. This is going to have so many policies being produced daily. We will, being in the foundational, roots of this, you guys are really still in a ground floor opportunity. One of the other things that we talked about at the end of 2019 was how if you get good at using the Tier 4 and Tier 6 CRM launch for somebody's business, how it creates quality warm market leads for the new partner coming in, but also for the organizational growth as well. Remember, if you've got, a base shop of 10, which we look for that growth of 10 per month, and let's say 7 of those people actually make it through training and launch their business, so at least 140 warm market leads for your organization. And all we ask that person to do is either they reach out to them or the manager reach out to them with some very non-threatening, non-pitch sales or scripts that allow them to do two things. Take a look at what we're doing on the partner or client side and then decide if there's something there that interests them on the business opportunity, great, we'll interview them. If not, is it something they need from our free services that we can offer right now? If you're allowing your partners to get out of the tier 6 and then it's a week and a half, 2 weeks later and those leads are not called, well, guess what? There's a 0% chance that new partner is going to be able to make any money. There's a 0% chance that partner is going to bring in another partner. And money and partner growth is very exciting to a new partner coming in. So it's your job, your obligation to try to help them. At a bare, floor level, they're at least learning how to use the CRM, which is the brains of our operation. But if we can get them money, we can get them growth in income, partners, whatever it might be, guess what? They get more excited. They go back to that phone, put in more people. And we've got platform advantages. We talked about this. This will continue to be a trend because even if we have competition and even if they can spark viral growth, what do they have to absorb it? I know Alana and I had a lead one time. The guy didn't want to come in, wanted to do it on his own. Alana heard from 6-9 months later. He had one person come in his office, write a bunch of bad business, cash it out, left. He was dealing with $25,000, $30,000 in chargebacks. That put him out of business. $25,000, $30,000 in chargebacks, A, no problem for this to handle. B, we've got buffers. We've got ways that we help also identify these types of transactions and keep you guys in a safe place without people ripping you off. So it will continue. The platform advantages. We can absorb the growth where other companies would struggle. We can pay out $1 billion. We have the capacity to pay out $4 billion. We've got an $80 million home office, $20 million computer system, and everything is taken care of for us in terms of compliance, commission, marketing, IT, legal, direct deposits twice a week. I never worry about, am I going to get paid or not? That's a nice place to be. And then 9 pay cycles per month. So understand that, yes, on the digital side, we have some enormous things to offer the marketplace. But on the back side, the IMO, the admin, we've got a way that can absorb it, pay it out, and continue to grow for years and years and years to come. The cause and the mission. This has been a little bit uprooted in terms of, their ability to go out and do some of the things they were going to do on the nationwide media tour. That'll, reinstate and get back to a sense of normalcy in the coming months. But still, the cause and the mission is there. We're teaching financial literacy. We're teaching people how money works. And that does a lot of what we do in the marketplace or what we were lacking potentially before, which is the rapport, the trust, the credibility that helps us open conversations. In that mission, that cause, what we're trying to do, financial literacy, how money works, really separates our marketing into 2 different ideas. And it's the same way that we always differentiate our marketing in terms of, partner, client, but it's very fluid. So when somebody gets introduced to our mission, our cause, they see our videos, they can potentially come into one of 2 spots. They could potentially need help, free services, sit down, talk to somebody. Or is it someone who can potentially come in and help? That's the business opportunity. So partner, client, that's always what you're thinking about, but just understand how to organize your thought process as well as your marketing process to make it easy for people to understand. And there's nothing that I believe more than if you can get that one question at an end point. So if I'm talking to Joe Smith and that conversation is not going to continue for any reason in the future, I'm going to make sure that I ask Joe, hey, Joe, I appreciate your time. Best of luck going forward. One last question, if you don't mind me asking. Do you pay out of pocket for term life insurance? The reason is we want to know, do they have term life insurance and if they're paying for it? Not a group plan, because we know if we ask this question enough, there's going to be some yeses, there's going to be some nos, but we also want to know, do you know about living benefits? And I use this both ways. So if somebody says, no, I don't pay out of pocket for term life insurance, do you know about living benefits? I'll try to continue the conversation, but really, this was geared around identifying those people that are paying for term life insurance, that don't know about living benefits, that could potentially fall into that upgrade window. And once again, if we go back to the other slide, and as a new partner, we're trying to make 3 clients and 3 partners every single month, I really feel that 3 to 5 upgrade sales per partner per month is a legitimate expectation if we get good at asking this question, good at continuing the conversation, and good at either closing these down or building up enough interest and enough expectation if you're going to pass it off to where somebody will be there for the next call. There is a lot of money on the move right now. There's a lot of people that will be going on the move right now. We're going to see a spike in unemployment during this time. You're also going to see a lot of people that are reevaluating how much risk they can really take on with their money, depending on where they are in the life cycle. So when you look at this, one of the things that I really see is that if I was an independent insurance agent right now, I would feel pretty much left alone because I'm not sure how to operate. I'm not sure how to go forward. I'm not sure how long this is going to last. So I'm revisiting people in financial services, in insurance, and I really want to know one thing. Hey, has the way that you do business been disrupted right now? If it has, what's your plan of action going forward? Not just today and tomorrow, but next week, next month, next year. Don't you see this as a warning sign that the way that you're doing business is archaic and you need to have a digital plan? And if you don't, what are the consequences of not having a digital plan? And that digital plan leads right into virtual financial. So if you're talking to people inside the industry, come from a position of power right now because we have something, we're executing when a lot of people are really lost about what to even do. And understand that when you are talking to different types of people, whether it's partners, whether it's clients, that we're all different. We all come from different generations that gives us different viewpoints of the world and that ushers in specific problems that are, dealing or that generation is dealing with. So the boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, the business opportunity would be something that you would talk to them differently about because they would have different needs. The client side also, just understand that you can't group everybody into one pot and talk to them exactly the same. If you start talking to people for who they are with a message like we always talk about that resonates with that person as that particular person, percentage will raise their hand and say, yes, I need to talk to you about this. Yes, I would like more information. Yes, please send it over. And as people are on the move, understand that some of the stuff that wasn't working 6, 9, 12, 18 months ago because the economy was super hot, will start to work again. So the job postings, the classified ads, the resume banks, all of these things have more value going forward than they did before. So understand that if you're open enough conversations, the tier 1 contact, and you're getting enough eyes on video material, and you're doing a decent enough job of following up, you will and you should be having results. And another thing that we really need to understand is the annuities. And annuities, remember, you're not selling annuities. You're not selling insurance products. You're offering solutions in the marketplace. And so how does an annuity fit into a solution to a problem right now? 2 ways: savings, money markets, CDs, all of this stuff that's earning basically nothing. I just saw that on CNBC's website that we just went with negative rates on the short-term 1 and 3 month bills. So what does that mean? That's, minuscule, pathetic savings account rate, money market, CD rate is going to get even more pathetic. So on the savings aspect, we've got a way to get the same protection with the opportunity for a decent rate of return. And then on the other side, the non-qualified funds, retirement for really people of a certain age, 50s, early 60s, if they really want to kind of step out, take a look at what they have and what that would guarantee them over their lifetime. That's something that would at least be of interest to me if I was that age to see, okay, if I've got 300, 400, 500 grand, what would it last me if I spread it out, put it somewhere for 7, 10 years, and then start taking guaranteed income for life? What does that look like? Because now you're not selling something. Now you're sitting down and saying, okay, you have, a 401k, you have an IRA, you have a pension, you have a Social Security expected amount. You have all of these things. This is what you're desiring, your standard of living that you want in retirement. This is how the rest of it fits into the puzzle. So remember, you're not going into a conversation trying to sell somebody something. You're trying to go into a conversation to get information, to provide solutions that give you the ability to, put up action steps. In the IUL, if you look at our 6 building blocks, really the IUL, if it's funded enough, can be the emergency fund. It's got elements of protection. It's got elements of accumulation. It's got elements of estate preservation. So the IUL, like we call the Swiss Army of financial strategies, most people don't realize how it can help them before and after their death. So once again, we're not selling IULs. We're talking to people, finding out needs, finding out problems, finding out information that allows us to offer solutions. And when you talk about an IUL, you're going to lose somebody if you start going into all this financial talk, insurance talk. What is an IUL? It's a product that offers financial flexibility, growth potential, downside protection, income tax advantage. Would you like to know more? Would you like to know how it can help you? Would you like to know, all of these things that will open the conversation, build some interest, and allow you from a position of power to continue and direct that conversation. If you're an inviter, it might be enough to hand off to a professional. If you're somebody who's doing multiple roles, you're just trying to get people committed to something else, which is the next point in the long line of what you're trying to do. So on a client-based presentation, somebody wants to talk about an F&A, somebody wants to talk about a piece of an F&A, a specific problem they're having. Understand, don't over-talk. Identify their concerns, offer solutions. In the fourth phase of retirement planning, we talked about this. If we're adding $2 trillion here, another trillion here, all of a sudden, where we were at 18 trillion, 20 trillion, 22, we'll be at 25. What does this come back and tell us? That somebody has to pay for this. It's going to be the future generations as they come through. So on a large majority of people that you talk to, tax deferral, not a good option. Well, what if somebody comes through and you're talking about tax deferral and they say, oh, yeah, I've got tax deferral, I've got a Roth IRA versus the traditional. Maybe you go into the conversation talking about, the inverse way to look at how to pay your taxes. Well, they say they got a Roth IRA. A lot of us would just give up there. Oh, that's great. I appreciate your time. Having a Roth IRA is great, but understand that you still have market exposure, you have contribution limits, you have principal risk exposure, annual income limits, and early withdrawal penalties. So just because somebody's doing something, it's not an all or nothing answer from our point. It's about building the puzzle, putting the pieces together so we can get them what they want at an end point, building a roadmap. So a lot of times when somebody tells you guys, oh, I already have a Roth IRA, that's great. Are you contributing to it? Are you doing the max contributions? If they are, probably means they have more money to contribute to other things. So you're not saying do this over that. You're saying do this along with this to build a foundation that actually makes sense. And we're going to continue to push the living benefits. Right now, there are tens of millions of policies that need to be upgraded, and there are tens of millions of people that need insurance. Living benefits is something that provides a personal protection plan that can be, in a situation where you have these medical events where money runs out and expenses go through the roof, the standard of living protection, it gets them a fighting chance, and it saves them from the masses, which when they hit that point, a lot of times bankruptcy, foreclosure, the spouse leaves because it's too stressful. So all we're doing is we're taking that situation, we're giving somebody a fighting chance. And remember, it's not about the consequence, or it's not about the risk. No one thinks down the road that I'm going to have a heart attack in the future, stroke, cancer. You talk about that with 100 people, probably 100 people are going to say, no, that's probably not going to happen to me, when about 70 out of that 100 probably will have an event. So it's about the risk. Okay, if something did happen, we had a heart attack yesterday, what does today look like for our family? What does today look like financially? We've got ways that you can hedge that risk, and that's called living benefits. And really at this point, like we are continuing to talk about, if you've been in the business for a while, maybe a good time to circle back around to some of the old leads, circle back around to your warm market. And if you're new, this is a great time to offer and open conversations with people in your warm market. It's very easy because you're just getting people talking about what's happening, how are they affected, how are they going forward. So remember, it's about opening conversations and letting other people talk. And then the common market. This is a great time that if you can find a commonality with somebody, a school, a sport, an occupation, military, it'll kind of give you that initial bridge to open a conversation and start to talk to people, because it does, in a loose way, build that rapport, trust, and credibility by the common association. And then once you've got the common association, that bridge of connection, you've got at least, a little bit of time on a message, on a phone call to start talking to people. And that's really, you need to refine your presentation skills, and you need to go into every one of these calls with a direct plan of action, something that's written down, bullet points, because if not, what's going to happen is the more you know about our company, the more you know about our business model, the more you're going to start to talk about it, and you're going to lose the whole point of what we're trying to do, which is get information from the other side. You can right now go back and revisit the cold market. Like I said, the resume banks, all of this stuff, I think over the coming 6 months probably, maybe even longer, can be a significant marketing leg for you. And like I said, it all goes back to the one thing that we all try to do every day, the Tier 1 contact. Tier 1 contact gets us partners, gets us clients, gets us bridges to other people that can potentially help us with our business or that might be a qualified partner or client. And then going forward, we have to learn what works on social media and what doesn't work. The trends will continue throughout this, coming years and this decade. Social media will be an important part of what we do. It's got extreme value when we can open conversations and service that partner or client wherever they might be. So what you have to understand is that a lot of us came in with no social media skills. A lot of us, including myself and Alana, no social media accounts. Education is the key to success. So outside of learning what you're trying to learn inside the business, just educate yourself. Learn from the people who are doing it well on social media, and don't think this is going to be a 0 to 60 or an overnight kind of phenomenon. You put some time, effort, energy into this week in and week out. The cumulative effect of that over the coming months, you'll start to see an audience build and the engagement in that audience build, which is the heart of social media. So just keep watering your social media accounts, keep trying to get better at what you do, offer content that, is something that the other side, the audience, is going to find valuable, because then what's going to happen is they're going to look forward to what you start to post, and you can start to pepper in advertisements on the business, advertisements on the client side, a lot of things that you can do. But like I said, the plant will grow over time if you continue to water it. And this ultimately is what your plan of action on a digital marketing scale will look like over time. You're not going to put all this together overnight, and you shouldn't expect yourself to do. You should just take a piece of this at a time and work on it. And one of the things that we can do when WealthWave 360 is fully integrated, it's going to take a lot of this for you and give you one kind of central hub where you've got access to a lot of things that you're trying to incorporate in your digital marketing plan. Build your brand. Guys, continue to build your brand. Be real, be authentic. People can sniff out people that aren't real and authentic online, and that fakeness drives people away. You want to be real. You want to be authentic. Good, bad things that happen. I was listening to a Gary Vee video, and the guy was talking about, hey, I'm a mortgage broker, but on a much smaller scale. How do I compete with the big guys? Or if I'm an insurance agent or something like this, talk about hitting that speed bump, spilling your coffee, whatever it might be. So understand that real stories, real authentic personal brands, people will be attracted to. And by doing that and by being real and authentic in the marketplace, you're going to start to attract the right people based on your personal brand that, A, you're going to get along with, and B, can make solid partners or potential clients. So inbound methodology, this is what we want to work on going forward. How do I create inbound marketing versus always having to be the person that initiates the outbound marketing? We're going to do that by creating content, and the emotional connection really helps. Like I said, first stage is the attract stage. So that's content that educates, informs, entertains, facts, tips, how-tos. You want people excited when you post stuff because they're getting value from it. They're learning, they're being educated, they're being entertained. Something's happening. That's going to attract people. And once you've attracted people, you've got to move on to the engagement stage, and that's content that helps them solve their problems. This is videos, articles, memes, interviews, classes, webinars, access to products, calls to action. You attract, then you engage your audience with things that can actually help them, and then finally you delight. And this is content that helps connect or entertain, brings that personal brand, brings that realness, authenticness to what you do, and that's about building loyalty and driving retention. If you ever wonder about, okay, well, I understand the basic premise of this, but what am I supposed to be doing? Well, here's 70 content ideas. Here's another 116. So as you go through this, just understand that if you have, a couple of things that you refer to, instead of just sitting there and trying to figure out what should I post today, just go through the list, right? Today I'm going to do this, tomorrow I'm going to do this, tomorrow I'm going to do that. And then through the cycle of doing that, what you'll have is over the coming months, So I have this incredible file of stuff that you can start to recycle. Yes, in the beginning stages, if you have to make something, it takes 10, 20 minutes to do so. Understand that if you're putting a file, if you're being organized, that can be reshared later down the road. Online surveys, we talked about this before. I think you can add another online survey to, and this works in warm markets, social media, everything. People love to give their opinions. So what are they doing right now for the coronavirus? Is it affecting their jobs? How are they handling everybody being at home? Just some stuff that will allow you to do one thing and one thing only. Open a conversation. That's all you're doing. So there's no specific thing that I say, this works, do this all the time. It's a combination of a lot of things that produce enough leads trickling down from here or there that you have enough conversations going at all time. And then from that point, once you open a conversation, you master the presentation of that conversation with continuing, directing, and getting people into certain slots for your business model. Your followers are valuable. They're an advertising audience, so don't neglect them. Engagement still matters. Create content that will encourage engagement. So don't just put things out there for the sake of just a post. Try to get as much engagement as possible. That's really the trickiest part of social media. But once you invest a little time, invest a little energy, do some research, you'll probably start to come up with things. And then once you start to understand and it starts to produce, you really want to move on to live events. This is probably the most uncomfortable thing to do, but if you look at everybody else going live, it's not a Hollywood production. Don't worry about it. Get over your fear. Get out there. Once again, that comes back to being real, authentic, putting yourself out there. People will appreciate that. Remember, social media, the only thing that we're trying to do as we build that audience, as we engage that audience, is push enough of those conversations off the platform to the phone so we can have a real conversation with somebody. Because like I said, if you're good at opening and you get good at continuing and directing, it's real easy to have these conversations because you're not closing people. You're just interviewing people, talking to people, letting them talk and getting that information. And like I said, this is your 1, 2, 3 steps. So open, continue, direct conversations. Open, continue, direct conversations. If you repeat the cycle and you do it on enough of a scale every day, every week, every month, our business on the partner and the client side, you will have interest. Your first conversations are not going to be good. So you're on LinkedIn and you're getting some intro calls scheduled for the first time. Well, guess what? First number of those are probably going to be pretty terrible. You're going to botch them. You're going to get off the phone and say, oh, I should have said this, or I messed up there. Just learn from them. But if you're having one intro call a month, it's going to take you a long time to get through the learning curve. If you're having, a few a week, learning curve is going to be much more compressed in terms of that time frame. And once you start feeling comfortable on the phone, this business becomes a lot easier for you. Like I said, go into every single phone call with a plan of action. Don't just let the other side randomly start talking and, going off into this or that direction. And you don't do that either. You want to let them talk, but if they get too far outside the boundaries, just come in with one of those questions that gets them back on track. And essentially you're wanting to, get something out of that conversation. If it's an intro call, you're really trying to pre-qualify them, see if they fit into something that we can help them out with on the partner or client side. On the rest of the messages, it's going to be a little bit more specific, and this is really what we try to do. So if I'm on LinkedIn and I'm sending the intro message, doesn't get answered, I've got a help message, got a how money works message, and you've got the value message. So remember, if you're struggling with lead generation, guess what? Other insurance agents, other financial services reps are also struggling with lead generation. So this value messaging could be something like a report, how to market on Facebook, how to market on LinkedIn, how to market on Twitter. It could be anything that you want. Value is just that. It's something that I think that if I was on the other side and I had received this message and somebody was offering me something that I would find of value, well, I kind of reciprocate that. So now I'm going to go out to an insurance agent. I'm going to go out to a financial services rep. I'm going to go out to somebody self-employed and offer them something on the beginning, front side, that will get them to say, yeah, I am actually interested in, seeing that. And then when I come back to follow up, then, hey, did you get that report? What did you think about it? Once again, all of this is trying to do one thing and one thing only, open conversations that allow you to talk to people. And the words are going to be so important. Not only what you say, but what you don't say. And that goes right back to the initial marketing of things like emails. Subject lines matter. If your emails are not getting open, then it doesn't matter what it says in the emails. You've got to go back, and if you send out hundreds of emails with no opens or very few opens, it goes right back to your subject line, and you need to make things that entice the other side to at least open that email. And that really can come through. We talk about this. Billy Mays, the guy who started off on the boardwalk and then he became the infomercial guy. Really what you're trying to do is get as many people to either agree with you on a positive or negative side. And that's really where a lot of this stuff, are you tired of using sprays that only mask odors? Does your kitchen have a drawer full of dull knives? So these are the type of things like, do you trust Wall Street? Do you hate stock market losses? Are you able to work in a virtual environment? Whatever it is that you're going to do, test your email subject lines, put them out there, and if they get no results, you got to go back to the drawing board. Don't just continue to do things if they're getting zero results. And really, when you talk to people, they've either got a pain point they want to avoid or they've got some type of a desired point they're trying to work towards. So when you talk to people, also understand that people are going to be interested in why we do what we do. We talk about this. Everybody can talk about what they do. A lot of people can talk about how they do it. Very few people can talk about why their organization does what it does. Why does Virtual Financial do what we do? And then why do you, as part of Virtual Financial, do what you do? People are going to buy into your vision, buy into your why, if it's clear, concise, articulate, and makes sense to them. When you talk about yourself, remember, all the time, people are going to tune out, whether that's an opening call, whether that's an ABC call, whether that's anything that you're doing on the front end. If it's just going to be about me, all the information is going to be tuned out, and really they're not going to buy into what we're doing because we haven't shown any interest in them. But when you share relevant content and resources that fits your prospects' value identifiers, they actually start to look forward to hearing from you. And that goes in the marketing on social media, but also goes in the phone conversations first. Allow people to talk. Don't overpower them or cram down information without letting them get some things off from their side. It can't be one-sided. If it is, it's not a solid phone call. And if you get stuck, and some people do, a lot of people will get stuck and press the eject button, say, hey, I appreciate your time. I'll follow up with you. I'll send you an email. It's that eject button that we don't know what to say. We just end the conversation. Easiest way to transition through any phone call that you have is just to ask a question. So somebody asks you a question or you guys get stuck, just ask another question. Keep the conversation going, kind of like a blind date we always talk about. You ask questions, let the other side talk. It'll be a lot easy, and you'll feel a lot more confident in that approach because you're not coming with some type of a pitch or an agenda. It's all about relationships. Whether we work in a traditional world, whether we work in a digital and virtual world, it's still a people business. It's still about the relationships, and that's why we're always talking about, hey, go out there and, understand who you're looking for, why, messages that resonate with those people, and when you get in front of those people, actually let them talk. They're going to give you the information that, once again, allows you to produce solutions and action steps that can lead to partner and client growth. And that's exactly what this bottom of the pyramid has to do with a lot of what we do. In the virtual world, the how money works, financial literacy, all of this stuff can start to build rapport, trust, and credibility. And that allows us to get the information that uncovers a problem, that leads to a solution and an action step. You'll never get the top without the bottom. So understand when you're marketing, understand how to build that rapport as quickly as possible and how to establish the trust and credibility. Create excitement. You've got to be excited about what you do. If you're not, it's going to be impossible for the other side to get excited because they're kind of, expecting something from your side. So we can only be so excited in a text message or an email message or a LinkedIn message. But when you get on the phone with people, be excited. Show interest in them. But when it's your time to talk, be excited about what we have to offer. And those videos, remember, videos are a leading indicator for your business. It serves as the introduction to your business. You don't have to waste time going through the formalities and the small information from somebody who may or may not have any interest in your business. It saves us from ourselves, and like I said, it's a great leading indicator And when you look at that activity sheet, new videos sent, there's enough of those. The rest should start to organize itself down the road into Tier 1 ABCs, into clients, into partners, into organizational growth. All you're trying to do is just fill up that CRM, whether it's an email campaign, whether it's open conversations and contact through Tier 1, whether it's ads, whether it's social media, it does not matter. CRM's hungry. Every single day it expects to be fed. So those leads go into the CRM, and then through what we do, how we do it, the follow-up, you're going to let the CRM dictate through what you do one of an end outcome. Either you're going to be a partner, client, neither. You're going to dump, maybe that you'll come back to, at a later time down the road because the timing wasn't right, or you're going to flush it out of the system because that lead's never going to have any value. And the last thing I'll leave you guys with is momentum. You've got to build the momentum, because if you do that right now, you're going to see that momentum pick up in velocity. And that momentum, just like everything else that we can do or not do, is going to be reflected on the results. So the marketing, conversations, recruiting, sales, tier activity, just like money compounds, so does activity. Put forth the effort right now. This is a time to strike, be aggressive in the marketplace, because if you're willing to do that, it's going to set you up for some exponential growth as we come out of this from the work that you're doing right now.
Wow, that was a great presentation, Mike. I really enjoyed it. I hope everybody did too. Let me go ahead and turn off the recording so we can open up the floor for questions. Thanks.